What's up, y'all? I'm back, and today I'm going to be making my Dynasty Warriors Origin demo impressions. This demo came out somewhere around Friday. I played this game somewhere around Saturday morning till Saturday night. I only have about 10 hours in this game, and I'm telling you guys right now, I am scared of this game. Meaning, I'm scared that this game is going to take over my life. This game is probably one of my most anticipated games coming next year. When I first saw this trailer for this game, something just spoke out to me. It was just like, whoa, okay. I never played a Warriors game before, but this game is just gravitating towards me. It's like, yeah, I gotta actually try this game out. So ever since that first gameplay trailer for this game, I've been always constantly looking for more information and staying updated about this game. So all I can say is that they're doing a really good job of attracting me as a new fan. I never tried the Muso games at all. Maybe I only tried one game, and it was just One Piece Warriors. I think it was One Piece Warriors 3. But I'm not even gonna lie, I felt tired of it and I felt bored of it in the first 4 hours. It just felt like brainless mashing. That's one thing that turned me off about the Muso games. It was just because you just press this button, you keep spamming attacks by all these enemies, and it's like these enemies don't really attack you at all, so it doesn't feel like fighting an army, quote unquote, and you're just so overpowered. So there wasn't really a challenge, and there wasn't really any boss fights. But with this game, it seems like they're changing everything. Man, they're changing everything. So I'm gonna go into details, what I liked about the game and what I didn't like about the demo. If you like the video, please give me a like and subscribe, and comment down below what games I should try out before this game come out. Are there any Dynasty Warriors or any Warriors game that I should try out before I should play on this one? Because I had to literally order a PC just so I could play, because my laptop wasn't working, so I had to go to my friend's house to just try this game. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I liked about this game is the music. Oh my gosh, the music in this game is just, I don't know what this game, like, I don't understand. Like, the music, and I never played any of the Dynasty Warriors games. I heard that this game has some of the remixes from the old games, and they remixed it and put it into this game. I'm just saying that the music is just fire, especially when you're starting the battle. What is that? I think it's called Eve. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. I think it's called Eve. It was playing, and man, that song when I was battling was just amazing. It actually felt like I was engaged and pumped up while I was slaying through all those enemies. I loved it. The next thing I like about the game is the difficulty. One thing I can say is that there's 3 difficulties in the game. So there's Historian, and then there's Wayfarer, I think that's how you pronounce it, and then the last one is Hero. So technically Historian is easy mode, Wayfarer is medium or like normal mode, and Hero is hard mode. I'm not even gonna lie, man, Wayfarer was still hard for some reason. I even played it on Historian and I'm still getting my ass kicked in this game. I like it that even though you could play as Historian, you still have some type of, like, it's not really easy mode on Historian mode in a sense. So I know the game journalists are not gonna like this game, because this is not gonna be journalist mode. Like, there's no journalist mode in this game from what I'm seeing. So Wayfarer, I played the game first on Wayfarer, and man, it was just kicking my ass. Like, the enemies were just still on me. The boss, Lubu, and I'm gonna explain about him later down the video, but man, the difficulty, I liked it. It was challenging, but it wasn't like super hard. If you guys played the Neo games, it's not like that. So that's what I liked about the difficulty. The next thing that I liked about this game was the war council. Before we start the battle, we have all these characters go into some type of war council where they explain what's going on, what we're going to do. Here are the people that's going to be, where they're at. And I'm not even gonna lie, That is so cool. It's so cool that they're doing something like this, right? I like that they strategized before the fights. It makes it kind of like real in a sense. The realism in this game is pretty cool. And I also like the bickerness between some of the characters during the War Council. Like if you looked at the dialogue or if you paid attention to the dialogue, I like that. I think it was Sun Jian and Yuan Shun. They were bickering each other about like, oh yeah, this is where you're supposed to be at. And they were fighting with each other, talking about the dialogue between those two was kind of funny because these two characters were kind of like arguing with each other. Why am I over here? I should be over here. So it's just kind of funny how the War Council, it's not just standard dialogue. Hey, this is where we're going to go. This is what it is. This is how the game is going to go. It kind of seems as though like they're trying to also put some humor and humanize these characters to make it feel like this is what would happen if you were in a War Council in real life. There's going to be some people that's going to disagree with the placement of where they're at, you know, or they're going to have fights in there. So I really like that. I really liked how the dialogue in the War Council was like. It kind of felt real and like this is actually how wars operate. You know, we strategize before we go into the fights. So that's pretty cool. I liked it. So the weapons. I like all of the weapons in the game. Though my favorite ones are the Crimson Orchids EX. I use the EX version. I use the regular version. Technically, you guys know that that's kind of like the circle weapon, where it's like you throw these rings and shit like that. To me, I love that fucking weapon. That was my favorite weapon. I don't know if it's gonna start off the game with that or I have to unlock it. I don't know how that's gonna go. But it also seems as though all of the weapons have unique attributes to them, right? So, for example, the Crimson Orchids, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, right? But there's two versions of it. There's the original one and there's the EX version. I've noticed that the original one had a boost of normal attacks, and the EX version has a boost damage to officers by 5%. And then it also boosts your bravery during parries and stuff by 10%. I like that the weapons all have unique abilities and unique play styles into them. It's not just the same attack patterns with every weapon. Every weapon is unique. Like the spear, the circle weapons, the sword, and even during the trailers you can see that even the fist and all the other weapons that we haven't got to try out yet, they're all unique in your own way. I really like that the weapons all feel unique and it's not just the same old attack patterns. The next thing I like about this game is the fights. I feel so immersed in the fights, especially when you're in the battlefield. When you start off the game, you're literally dashing through all the hordes with your horse and shit. Man, it's crazy. And then when you get into fighting one of the big officers or big generals, it's like you hear everybody screaming and there's like so much shit going on. There's people literally fighting each other. There's arrows shooting in the air. There's people fighting. You're fighting the general, but you also got to be careful because his squad is also about to attack you. So you got to use the tactics. For example, you have to use the commands to make sure that they're fighting their own squad while you focus on the general. The whole thing is just crazy. Like when I was fighting, it felt like I'm actually in war. There's so much chaos going on. I'm here fighting the general, and then the NPCs, the small army people, are attacking me all of a sudden. Like, what the fuck? And so I have to literally evade and get the fuck out of the way so that then I could command my army to attack Gear Squad. The boss fight with Lubu was so challenging. Even on Historian mode, I played the second playthrough of this demo on Historian mode, and I still got my ass kicked. But I really liked the fight because it wasn't like, oh yeah, this shit is just unbearable. I was enjoying the fight. It wasn't like, oh man, this is a pain in the ass. The boss fight for Lubu was insane. I also liked his grab animation where he grabs you, picks you up, jumps and slams you down. That shit was so cool. I hope there's more to the fight, because it seems like that was just our first encounter, right? I hope in the final game we have 2 phases of this guy, because I felt as though the first phase in this demo was like, okay, this is pretty cool. It was hard and I enjoyed it, but I felt like I was expecting more, you know? So I'm glad that this is not just the fight in general, because apparently I heard the producer of the game, right? He said that this fight right here, this boss fight or whatever that we had in this demo, is not going to happen in the full game. We're not going to see Lubu until probably the last 10 hours of the game, and he might be even a final boss, honestly, with the way that they were going. But I think this was just our taste of what is going to come, and I really enjoy the boss fights. I honestly believe that what they're doing right now is pretty good. This is how the boss fights in the Warriors games and in the Muso games should be like from now on. It felt like, yeah, I'm in a battlefield, I see this boss, this guy right here, he's destroying my whole army. And it also makes you feel as though this guy, he feels intimidating, right? One thing that when I was playing One Piece Warriors 3 was that I'm fighting Crocodile, right? But Crocodile doesn't feel like an actual boss. He just feels like a regular mob on the games, right? He didn't feel intimidating for me to fight, right? So now I'm thinking they're learning their lesson that we need to make boss fights more intimidating for you to fight them. I loved it. This Lubu's fight made it seem as if I was fighting a Souls boss, and it was actually pretty cool. I loved everything about the fights. So these are my cons for the game. I think this is something they're going to fix later down the line. I don't think this is going to take a new patch. I honestly feel like they could fix this before the full game releases. My first complaint about the game was the zoom lock-on. For some reason, when you lock on to a general and you're fighting them, it's too zoomed in. I feel like there should be an option in the settings for you to zoom out while you're fighting the general, because this camera is too focused on it. I get it. It's trying to create this seamless immersion that you should only focus on the general, but it's kind of funny because I want to focus on the general at the same time while I'm fighting the general, his army is attacking me too. Like, I had certain situations where I'm fighting the general or something, and then all the mobs just jump me. So it's like, yeah, there's no point really zooming in on the lock-on if the mobs are gonna have the ability to do that. I feel like they should find a way to have it in the settings options to zoom out. If I could zoom out so that I could still fight the general, but still pay attention to my surroundings so that his army doesn't jump me, then I'm cool. And then the last thing was riding the horse. The controls for riding the horse was kind of wonky. I'm not even gonna lie, especially when you're dashing. It seems like the camera can't keep up. I remember I was dashing towards A because one of my allies was having a hard time, and I think I was at C, so I'm booking it to go to A to help them out. It seems like the camera can't keep up with the horse when you're dashing, especially when you're turning. I don't know if it's maybe my settings, because I left my sensitivity at 50, so I don't know if I was supposed to increase it more and it would have kept up when I was turning. But when you're turning, you can't even control it at all. I think they need to work on the controls for riding the horse. And once they fix that, this game is all right. So yeah, guys, that's my impressions of the demo. I'm buying this day one. I'm just letting you guys know. This is a day one purchase for me. I love this game. I've seen a lot of people on the comments of other people's videos about this demo's impression, and they're like, oh, this is not Dynasty Warriors. This is not how it's supposed to be. I don't like this new direction. I don't like that we're fighting. We'll only have this one protagonist. We can't use the other officers. But this is just my opinion on this whole thing. I think that this is just an experimental game. I see this game as, I know this is a bad comparison, but to Sonic Frontiers, right? Sonic Frontiers was an experimental game to the Sonic franchise. And to see how the fans feel about an open world game, and to see how it was. At the beginning, people didn't like it, but you could tell as they kept putting more development on the game, people ended up liking it. And Sonic Frontiers was the start of now Sega turning their ways and listening to their fans, right? And now we have a good game like Sonic and Shadow Generations, right? So how I'm seeing this is that this game right here is the experimental game to start off. This is a fresh new start to the Dynasty Warriors game. They're just trying to see if this is the right way to go about it. And I'm saying that, yeah, this is the right way to go about it. What they got right here is really good. If they're able to keep this formula and put it into other Warriors games that comes out, like imagine if we have a Berserk Warriors game or a Kingdom game with this formula, or the next Hyrule Warriors game with this formula, bro, this shit gonna be fucking gas, right? So I honestly think they're cooking right now. But who knows, maybe they might even give us a DLC or the free mode of this game later down the line, and now we could use the other commanders or the other heroes in this game. We are able to use it, but we're not just stuck with this character right here, right? This is just a day one purchase. I love this game. I'm gonna buy it day one. So if you guys like the video, like and subscribe, and comment down below. I'm thinking of starting a Dynasty Warriors 4 or 5 playthrough before this game comes out, or playing Samurai Warriors 4. I heard from a lot of people that Dynasty Warriors 4 and 5 or Samurai Warriors 4 is good. Like, you should play those games. Those are the good Dynasty or Muso games that you should play before this game comes out. And then a lot of people would say if you don't like the graphics or the graphics look kind of whack to you, then an okay Dynasty Warriors game or an okay version of it is Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. So yeah, outside of it, like, this is gonna be my game of, this is technically my most anticipated game. I'm giving this as for the demo rating, I'm giving this like a 8 out of 10. This is really great. If they can fix the zoom in and the controls on the horse riding, then yeah, this will probably go up to 9 out of 10 for me. So if you like the video, like and subscribe. Catch you guys next time. Peace.
Like what I said later, they ain't even wanna step outside, get a hand so much, barely open up my eyes. No wonder low sight of the vision, knew my soul needed revision.